designate some of those.
And theoretically, I mean, if all goes well, excuse me, the previous show has reset those to a standard focus.
Yeah.
But you should probably still check when you come in.
Yeah, that's part of why we're restricting it to these two crow's nests, and we're restricting it to 2 instruments each, because that becomes a maintenance issue, and that's Christine's job, is to make sure that the next show is not compromised because of something you did in your show. So if you do the due diligence and you're conscientious, then you're going to make her job easier. If for any reason we find that it becomes a problem, we had to rescind that privilege to someone last year because they just kept not refocusing those lights. So we basically had to play kindergarten cop and be sure that they didn't climb up that ladder during their 15 minutes, and that's awkward for everybody. Yes.
Our show had discussed the idea of bringing 2 small sort of club-style follow spots. That's something we discussed. We would be fine with sharing with other shows. In that case, would it be possible to say keep them up on the crow's nest?
If you had two spots that you wanted to offer up, then I think that would be the logical place to put them so that they don't create an obstruction. And so if you're doing that and that's, they're your units and that's where you'd like them, we're more than welcome to bring them in. Give us the specs on them. It's probably something we can easily provide power for. But of course we want to know what it is. This is an old building, so it will be sacrificing maybe something else to have those available during your show. So you might have to lose 2 circuits, and then you can use those, and the rheostat will need to be powered through non-dim power somewhere. Bring in rheostats for that. Whatever. Give us the specs on it so we know what we're dealing with.
Okay. And one other question: the plot from the last year had a number of CXIs. Is that something that's
That'll change. That'll change. Yeah, we're not going to have as many of them. We have to consolidate those down. We don't have as many available to us.
But there likely will be one system that is on.
We will have 2 systems, and by 2 systems I mean if we have a front, we'll probably have a back, and if we have the sides, we'll probably do something near, something far, so that you've got full coverage with color changers in that way. Okay. If you have strong opinions about that, feel free to chatter about it. Okay. We're going to have probably 12 CXIs available to us, so 6 from the front, 6 from the back, something like that. If you have strong opinions about whether you feel that those are more effective on the sides as opposed to the tops for color, let us know. We won't, If we use the color changers, for instance, we don't have to hang 2 systems. We don't have to do a cool and a warm because we're going to have them, say. So we would basically do 3 and 3. We would do a downstage and an upstage, or a mid-stage, as it were. Then the furnace upstage system would not have color changes on it. We do the same. We would just do the same with the tops. So it would be fronts and tops, or it would be sides, which would be nears and fars. Okay? Again, strong opinions on that. Feel free to chatter about it. We'll make that decision on venue prep. We're hoping to have 12 CXIs here, and that's kind of the approach we're taking. So, one quick thing about power, since we talked about it for the follow spots. There are many outlets on the wall here that you'll see and are attempting to plug into. You won't plug into those unless we've said that we can plug into those. At venue prep, we will designate which of those are available for stage power, for auxiliary power, which includes projectors, which includes backline, like amps, any of that stuff, anything that's show specific that you need to plug in. There will be available non-dim circuits on either side of the stage, okay? And by non-dim, I mean things that don't require them to come on and off gradually. So there's a lot of things you don't want to plug into a dimmable circuit, and those want that kind of hot power, like from the wall. So we need to know what it is you're plugging in so we can advise you where you can plug it in. Okay? If you need dimmable available circuits, that's where we get into, sometimes our booms become combination units, so we can use those circuits and use them if you need dimmable circuits. So if you have anything in here that you're thinking about bringing in that requires dimming, let us know what it is, and we'll see if we can't offer up some available circuits for it. Again, it might mean sacrificing something else that's available because you might be sharing a circuit. So that's sort of a general power question. That includes projectors and all that stuff that you might want to power from the grid, any auxiliary things, I don't know, that you might want to have. Again, amps, backline for sure. We'll account for all that during venue prep, so you won't be needing to account for that during your 15 minutes. We'll tell you where that band equipment is all set up. So, lighting. Any more questions about lighting, or can we move on? I'm sorry, yeah.
The site has 3 colors on strip lights, or?
Strip lights of some sort. Okay, last year we had a certain kind of strip lights, and I don't know that we'll have those this year. Something that will allow at least a few colors on there, color blends from the ground. I should say a low and a high. We might not, last year they were both on the ground and we just focused them that way rather than hanging a system, okay? Great, so we'll segue.
I'm sorry, the color changes will just be on the bottom for the scrim? Is there the cyc?
No, we'll
I'm
do a
sorry.
low and a high system, so
Okay.
the whole cycle will be covered. We just don't know if both of those are gonna be from the ground, or if one's gonna be from the grid
Okay.
and one from the ground. We're still discussing spacing out the blackout drop so that we create an up-center entrance, and if that happens, we can maybe scooch a ground row in downstage. And if that happens, then we'll maybe hang a row from the grid rather than do it on the ground to open up that space.
Fantastic,
So-
thank you.
Yeah. So now we'll talk audio real quick.